Well, like I said, I'm not putting a timetable on it, but it would not surprise me. But I got to tell you, I don't know if I'd want to be the first guy to go from AEW to WWE because you're going to get a paycheck, but you might get buried too.
I think Cody's smart enough to decipher that. I think you got to make Cody's growing up 20 years in 5 years. In terms of smarts, logistics, knowing how to promote himself, he wouldn't walk in there blindsided.
Yep, I agree with that. And Nate, that's what makes your first run in WWE incredible. Because if anybody would figure to get buried upon entry in WWE, it'd be you. You were the standard bearer for the other guys, for the competition. But instead, I mean, give Vince credit. He saw you for what you were and let you take it to the top there, too.
Mark, I say this very humbly. I was too good to be buried.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. I totally agree. But
Now,
that hasn't...
Who was going to bury me?
You make a compelling argument.
I left the people behind me that could bury me.
Good point. Good point. You could have got buried any worse in the new place than you had been at the old place.
Are you kidding? I got to hang out with some of the greatest people. As I say, I got to wrestle Hogan. I got to wrestle Randy. I got to wrestle Bret Hart. I got to wrestle The Undertaker. Are you kidding me? It was the greatest year and a half, the most fun I ever had. And I made the biggest mistake I ever made was going back.
Now, before we wrap this, that angle at Wrestle War turned you babyface, but you were kind of a babyface already, I thought. I mean, the fans had kind of pushed you in that direction, despite you not liking it.
Well, I didn't mind it because with Terry, I didn't have to worry about not being able to do anything offensively except hit him. You know what I mean? So our matches weren't around drop kicks, leapfrogs, moonsaults and everything. It was just a war. I mean, it really was. I would hit him as hard as I possibly could.
Well, we're going to talk about
that face.
Let's move on to Cody Rhodes, who just won the TNT Championship from Sammy Guevara in AEW. When did you first meet Cody? Because I remember Cody being around WCW with his dad way back when.
No, I met Cody I used to travel with Reed for amateur wrestling. And Cody was a Georgia state champion. But this is when they were both like younger. I think Cody is 3 years older or 2 years. They never wrestled each other. That's funny because I was dying for Cody and Reed to work back then, as were Dusty and I. But they were an age bracket apart where I couldn't even bump him up high enough. But I mean, Cody's he's a diamond, man, for me. I think the world of the kid. He's done all this on his own, had the balls to step away from it, challenge it, married a beautiful girl, Brandy, who supports him. And I talk to Michelle a lot, not a lot, but once a month I'll text Michelle, man, the kid is golden. So, it's kind of like, no, and I understand it, but I mean, I can't figure out how AEW got the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament when I appreciate Tony for doing it, but that's something that if the company feels that strongly about Brett and Owen, that's something that I wish the WWE had jumped on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but